How are you?
Who do you have this time?
Mr. Marquise Franklin. I'm sorry, my voice is barely here.
Marquise Franklin. Okay.
Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
This case been pending, isn't it? Yes, sir.
Your Honor, before you is Marquise Devontae Franklin. It's a 2021 GS 4547. Franklin is charged with 2 counts of murder, possession of a weapon during a violent felony. Here today, Ms. Butcher has made a motion for a speedy trial. The state is here. We consent to a trial as soon as January. We have date certains lined up every term between now and January. This is Ms. Butcher's motion.
Is this the shooting at the New Floyd Village?
That's right, Your Honor.
Well, this case been pending a while.
It has, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, we came up for a bond before, Your Honor. It was denied. I think the primary reason, he was out on probation, I believe, for another charge, and he had cut his monitor and left the state. That was prior to being charged. I don't know if the warrant was already there, but he hadn't been served or anything with these charges. I just want to make sure the court understands. It wasn't after he'd been served with this. But, Your Honor, that was in November of 2020 that he was picked up in Ohio and brought back here. He has been
in Ohio.
He had left the state, Your Honor.
What part of Ohio was he in? Cleveland.
Cleveland, Ohio.
You know, that's my territory. That's where I went to college.
Okay.
Law school, practiced law, and I have a house there. And my mother's house. You're on the east side? West side. West side.
So he went to a good place, Your Honor.
Cleveland, back in the 70s, Cleveland was divided. East side and west side, divided by the Cuyahoga River. Yeah. And black people didn't go on the west side. They didn't live on the west side. Now, what were you doing over there? Now, of course, it's changed now. I go there, and it's different now. But when I was there, the town was very, and a lot of these cities are very segregated, really. More segregated than the South.
Wow.
You know, and I don't know what he did. And when I was in school, he'd been on the west side. He wouldn't make it. In fact, that's why I left Cleveland and moved back to South Carolina, because they ordered busing to desegregate the schools, and they ordered my son would be bused to the west side, and the white children would be bused to the east side. And I don't want my kids to be a part of that. You know, why use a child to busing them in a strange neighborhood? So I know what we'll do. We'll leave the whole town, the whole state. We'll come all the way back to South Carolina. But I left on the good terms. I didn't leave in handcuffs. I don't know if he did or not, but
I believe he did. Your Honor, we are just here asking for a speedy trial in this matter. It's been pending so long. He's been incarcerated so long.
he deserves a speedy trial, absolutely. I see this list of court here now between the rest of the year. You got Farrell Cawthorn, Judge Cawthorn due here October 19th. You got Clifton Newman due here November 27th.
And Your Honor, I'll be glad to look at my calendar for any of those dates. We had spoken about January because I understood it was booked up until then, but
yes,
you know, obviously we'd like it as soon as possible.
We have so the case murder case we dealt with this week was the second oldest murder case. This is the third oldest. The oldest murder case is date certain for October, and it's my understanding Ms. Alston has a date certain criminal sexual conduct case set for November. So the next available term.
Well, that one's going to plead guilty. Don't you think?
No. Are you talking to me? Okay.
But anyway, Your Honor, all of these dates will be out. So I'm leaving the solicitor's office next month, so it will be Ms. Alston's responsibility.
Oh, she'll be doing the murder case too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Well, she's learned a whole lot in the last
3 years.
3 years. I remember yeah. And she's a very good rookie. She's a good lawyer now. I think she can handle it.
I do too.
She talks strong. She's not timid like she was at the beginning. She speaks forcefully now. Yes, sir.
But Your Honor, I've met with the victim's family. They're desirous of speeding the trial too. This is right next in line. I've spoken to Ms. Alston. She says she can do it. You tell us when to try it, and we'll have it ready.
Hey, have you all offered any plea bargaining of any kind?
We've entered plea negotiations, nothing concrete, and based on my conversation with Ms. Butcher, it's probably going to be addressed between her and Ms. Alston. It's not something that's going to be resolved.
I was charged with double murder, killing 2 people. And, it was all over the news back then. What a drive-by, driving down the road. And
It was a setting up, Your Honor.
a setting up, yeah. And innocent people, they're being shot and killed.
And Your Honor, if there was a drive-by associated with this, I would like that information turned over.
Well, I said drive-by.
Okay, I just wanted to.
I hear thousands of stories. I don't have the facts correct on all of them.
I didn't hear a correction. so.
I was waiting. Yeah, this is not a drive-by case. It's a walk-up case.
A walk-up. Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I'm just trying to. I know I heard about it in general, and heard who was accused. And I've known, there are so many Franklins around here. I know a lot of them, and I immediately wondered whether I knew this one. And I think I heard he's from Greeleyville. Yeah, say Franklin from Greeleyville. That's. We had a Franklin who was living. What's Franklin's name? Edward. What's your father's name?
I'm really from Georgia. I moved to Greeleyville. I'm from Georgia. I moved to Greeleyville.
Oh, from Georgia. You're not related to the Franklins in Greeleyville? No. That guy, as nice as he could be, he lived in our neighborhood. And all the Franklins. Kathy is that a Franklin? You got some Franklins. You've married the Franklins. Mauritius. She a Franklin. Lots of Franklins. So what are we going to do, Mr. Franklin? You're trying to have a trial?
Sure.
We can give him one, Your Honor. If you tell
He
us.
said he's from Georgia, so what part of Georgia are you from? Valdosta, Georgia. So, people around here, when they're guilty, they usually confess. They don't usually want a trial if they're from here. I don't know about someone from Valdosta. You have some who don't. I mean, we have trials all the time, but I don't know. I don't know the scenario. As you can tell, I don't know the facts of this. I thought I did.
I liked that fact, though, Your Honor. I was hoping to use it.
Yeah. So the problem with setting a January term, I guess you all have court every month, but the schedule is not out yet.
And, Your Honor, I think we can work it out. This is going to take priority over anything except federal court for me. So, other than
So y'all want to have an agreed
DSS.
trial date for January?
That works for us.
Yeah.
If there's not a January term, as soon as thereafter as possible.
And Your Honor, the only other thing I would ask that if it does not go in January, or if there's the next term of court beginning at the first of the year,
Yes.
whatever week or month that may be, that he is allowed to come back and set a bond.
Yeah. And I'll sign an order to that effect if you all share it with each other and submit it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is Christian News TY. I'm Tony Conyers. Is there any newsworthy events in Williamsburg County? We will get them to you as soon as possible. If not, you can follow us on Christian News TY Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube, and you can follow us on our website.
The Mayor, Darren Tisdale, having fun with friends.